Guys, welcome back to the 3 Points Podcast. I'm your host Luke, joined again with your host
Marc. How are we, lads?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you, Mark? How you been this week?
Not too bad. Week's been fucking
Yeah,
insane.
we've had a bit of a hectic week this week, lads. That's why we haven't really put out an episode this past week, because a couple of things have happened and we will get into those a bit later. But first of all, we do want to talk about the last episode. So we had a couple of audio issues.
Yep.
So Mark, if you want to go through how much of a fucking pain that was to edit.
So, after the episode, we got into a bit of bother, but then after that, when I got home, I then started editing the audio. Then I realised there was like a really bad echo, some dropouts, because Audacity is fucking wank and shit. I couldn't manage to do it, and I said to Luke that we could put something out, but it's going to be pretty naff. And then he said, "Oh well, let me try my better software," because he's got better software than Audacity. And we just realised that Audacity was the actual software that cooked our recording. So
well, it's really because we're working with what we have at the moment, lads. So we don't really have much to go with. We work with a basic setup. We got 2 laptops, 2 mics, and we make it work. So we just do want to,
for you 100 viewers each week.
Legit, and we really do want to apologise when it does happen, because we do feel quite guilty. It's one of those things that when you're doing your own kind of work and podcast and show, you want it to sound good, you want it to be the best.
Yeah,
but
it's a bit of a kick in the teeth when you because we did a good episode, man.
100%.
We put a lot of
time and work. Yeah, like that last episode, we wrote a lot of
yeah.
notes for that. Probably our most planned episode to date, but it didn't really go to plan. But so we do apologise about that. But we took. I took so long editing that. I spent up all night, and it's the best I could get to sound. So, and that was after watching countless YouTube tutorials about how to fix the audio, and still we couldn't do much. But we also, before we move on into the actual reasons to why this week was kind of shit for both of us, or not really shit, but more so exciting,
ups
and down,
man, ups and downs, man.
We do want to do a couple shout outs. So, as usual, we normally shout out our friends and stuff, and we have been doing that, but we actually got a new shout out today, Mark.
Yeah,
someone called we got scouted on the old YouTube channel, Premier League Padder. And the reason I want to give them shout outs, because most YouTubers that do comment on your things, they're mostly that sub for sub, they kind of spam you shit, they're not really good content. But I want to check them out, and I have to say, really decent content. So if you guys do like the Premier League, and I'm shouting out competition here, but go check them out, go show them some love. They got a really good podcast, and go check that out.
Man.
Yeah, they got a really professional setup. Yeah, that's the dream setup we want. So to see that they're doing that already, big shout outs. But we'll go into my situation first. So the past week, me and Mark, we do an indoor team, if you guys didn't know, West Ham Under-13s. That's a
shout out West Ham Under-13s.
Big shout out to West Ham Under-13s. It's one of those things for us where we get out on the ball, have a bit of fun, get fit. It's not something that we take too serious. Well, not some people anyway, because this one guy on the old Tuesday night decided to break my nose. Yeah. So Mark sadly wasn't there for it. Normally,
I was not there, no.
Normally he is there, but to set the scene for you guys, pretty much on a Tuesday night we play a social league at our local area, and it's indoor 5-a-side futsal. Thing about it is it's meant to be for fun. We're literally playing in a league that is meant for amateur players, like people that are trying to get into shape and all this. Mate, it's turned to a bloody war zone down there. The amount of times I get fouled, away. Oh, it's disgusting. So, anyway, I've never broke a bone in my body till Tuesday. I'm not a safe person, but I do high risk things, but I get very lucky.
Yeah.
So I fell off a lot of things. I fell off bikes where I should have broken bones. I've done a lot of dumb shit in my life, but just got really lucky.
I broke my arm, apparently. I can't remember.
My mate's broke his arm and not even realised it. Shout out Joe Gray, by the way. But yeah, so going back to the story, pretty much I had the ball. It was indoor, kicked off, and this one big guy was giving me a bit of stick. He was giving me a bit of time on the ball, a bit rough, but it is what it is. It's indoor. It's you're going to get that.
Yep.
I then cop a straight fucking ball to the face about 5 minutes into the second half, by the way. Yep. And that rocked me, right? Yep. 2 seconds after that, I get the ball. I pick it up on the halfway line. Now, obviously, I'm hoping you guys know what the fuck football tricks are if you're watching this channel, so I'm not going to explain the actual trick, but it's called like an elastico and in and out. It's got different names for it. But I've in and out, scissored it through his leg. As I've gone to go around him, he stuck an elbow out and elbowed me straight in the face. Quite quickly as well. Not like he's like charged up, but like knocked it like straight into my face. So he's turned around, elbowed me instantly. It's hit me. I'm thinking, nose is broke. I'm fucked. What happens? Go sit down, show the boys. They're like, your nose is fucked. And we will actually, I'll put a picture on
we'll put the picture
3 Points Podcast
on the
Instagram.
But when you messaged me that, I thought you were talking
I was dead set when it happened. It was one of those things where you're like, shit. I didn't even have any pain to it. Like really, it just elbow straight to the face. I'm like, my nose is broken. Like I can't do anything about it. We'll put a photo. It's not too bad, but it's still really fucking broken in my eye. If you get a picture of my eye as well, which we can post as well.
Do before and after.
You see the before and after. It's swelled up after like 3 days, and it's now fucked. So shout out the cunt who fucked me up at indoor.
Shout out.
Yeah, because you're a dickhead, and I swear to God, man, you ruined. I can't even play this week now. I have to sit out.
Before we move on from that, do you want to talk about the next day when you went to the GP, the hospital?
Oh, that was a waste of time. Yeah, so if you ever break your nose, don't go try to get it fixed. I looked up a bunch of things, and everyone was like, leave it for 3 days. So I'm like, yeah, I left it for 3 days, and then old mom's telling me to go check it out. I'm like, I'll go down to the GP after 3 days. By the way, waiting for the swelling to go down. I go down there. Wake up at 8:45 in the morning, go down there, get told, nothing we can do. I'm thinking, cool, nothing you can do, sick, just wasted my time. So I go home, and then he goes, go to the hospital. I'm thinking, all right, okay, I'll go to the hospital. What are they going to do? Like, in my head, I'm like, that you can't fix it.
Yeah.
Or they're probably going to say the same thing. But I listen to the GP. I say, no, I'll go down there. I go wait in an emergency, by the way, which felt so unnecessary because I'm like, I'm fine. My nose is just broken. Like, I don't feel any pain. I've just got a fucked face.
Yeah.
Like, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
So I go all the way down there for them to literally tell me the same thing the GP told me. Like, I wait 3 hours there, or an hour and a half, 2 hours, however long it was. It was a long time. I walk in there, and she goes, yeah, can't do anything about it. And then literally, she wasn't going to do anything till I asked her, can you just check to make sure my nose is broken? Because I just think it's broken. At this point, I had no confirmation if it was broken or not.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, it's broke. I can tell 100%, but I can't do anything about it. You have to wait a week, and then we can fix it. So save you guys some time. Never ever, if you break your nose, go anywhere. Just sit at home and chill. Unless you fully fucking snap the thing and you can't breathe, then maybe go down there. But like, if you just break your nose like a little bit, then fuck, don't go. Like, don't go. It's no point.
Was it a wait to get into the hospital?
It was a massive wait.
How long?
Like it was quiet, but the wait, as in like being inside there, was ages. So it's wait in the waiting room of the emergency to then get checked out by a nurse.
Yeah.
For the nurse then to say, yeah, you broke your nose. You need to go get X-rays. To then go sit down, to not get given X-rays, to sit in another different center at the hospital, for them to wait another hour, to then get served, to then get told in literally 2 seconds. I'm not exaggerating here. I walked in, I got told pretty much to walk out as soon as I walked in.
Really?
Like, I walked in, she was like, we can't do anything. I was like, well, you're not even going to check it? And then she checked it, and then she like fingered my nose for like 2 minutes, making sure there's no like things up there. That was the most awkwardest thing ever. I'm thinking, if I've got a fat booger up there, it's coming straight out. Like, yeah. But luckily nothing was up there. It was all good. But yeah, just man, this is why I didn't really like indoor on Tuesday, because we lost and I broke my nose at the same time. But I did score. I did grab a goal. Yeah. But shout out West Ham on the phone. Shout out Daniel as well, because he bagged another goal. 3 goals in 3 games for that guy.
Every game.
Mate, he's had to break Vardy's record in the at indoor.
We need him for Arsenal, because no one's scoring for Arsenal at the moment. So Daniel, you want a job, man? There you go. Step
right up. But now we're going to move into a better story. So our week has been quite exciting, Mark, hasn't it? So I'm going to set a little bit of a scene, not too far into it, and then I want you to kind of take over from me, okay?
All right.
So pretty much, guys, after the last podcast, we ended on a high. We thought the episode was amazing. Little did we know the audio issues that were about to happen. Our week, this is what I'm talking about, how our week kind of just went from like shit to kind of all right.
Yeah.
But back to shit.
Yeah.
But so pretty much we've finished the episode. We've like content-wise made a banging episode.
Yeah. Also, towards the end of the episode, we were getting like both our laptops froze.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That like
so
the whole episode.
You guys didn't realize that, but we had to like stop the episode midway through and then restart it again. And then another laptop froze, and then we'll like end it as quick as we can.
The amount of times like the episode would just freeze, and then like there's like a bit that there's a bit of an audio outro clip where I'm like talking, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's not working, and then like it just randomly didn't unfroze. Yeah. It was like God just it saved us, because it actually saved the episode, because we did an hour, 2 hours, and it just crashed. So this episode will be a bit short, guys. So for those that do have a bit of ADHD, don't like the longer episodes, this one is for you. But now we'll go back into the story, because this is an insane story. Pretty much, we finished the episode. We didn't think we had the audio issues. We're thinking we're all good. I looked at my man Marc. Now, Marc had kind of told me before he was come to mine that him and Liam were going to be hanging out after all, just chilling out.
Yeah, because Liam was here while we were doing the episode.
Yeah, because Liam was just vibing in the background.
Because I was hanging out with Liam before we started doing the recording of the episode, and Liam had made a purchase.
Made a quite a significant purchase to our nights that we didn't realise at first.
Before we came here, and he purchased a couple of water guns.
Now, a couple innocent water guns. led us to a lot of fun. Now, Mark, can you tell me whose idea this was? Because I thought it was yours, but you corrected me here.
No, it was Liam's. He went and bought them. I don't even know where he bought them, but he left them at work. He picked them up, and he brought them around. And I was like, all right, well, let's get up to some bother. But I didn't think it would get to the extent of the bother that it did get up to. You know.
All we had was water guns filled with water, and the whole point of the night was we were going to go spray a couple people. So, like, I was not my idea. Yeah. I was like, you know what, I'm 21, I'll be 16 for a night.
And this was midnight?
By the way, guys, this is like midnight. We finished, normally the podcast we record, like 10?
Yeah.
10 p.m.?
Well, at the moment it's 10:30.
Yeah, so it's 10:30 now, but like normally we start recording like 9:30. So we finished the podcast. It's about 11 o'clock at night. Obviously, we told you about the water guns now. I'm looking at Mark and Liam. I'm like, so what are you guys going to do? They're like, yeah, we're probably going to go just, spray a couple people, just, a bit of fun with water guns. Not really do much. Like, it's a water gun. Like, it's spraying water at you. Yeah. You get wet. That's the worst thing that can happen to you on a fucking Thursday night, right? Yeah. So we decided to get in the car. Now, the plan was that I was going to have a water gun in the back.
We had three, by the way.
We had three, but...
So we loaded them all up.
We loaded these bitches. We were ready. We looked to load
We tested them in the back of Luke's backyard.
Yeah, we did. Got some good range on them.
There was some leaky holes.
Yeah, we had some leaky holes. We had to tape up. So Mans was taking pride in his work.
We were prepping these.
We were ready.
We thought we were going to be doing this for about a good couple of hours, but we didn't really get to squirt many people. We only got to squirt one significant person, and we're about to explain this. Go on, Luke.
So pretty much, we get in the car. Now, to give a bit of backstory, we wanted to kind of stay local to the area because where we were, just like, we don't really want to be driving like 40 minutes, away. So we kind of drive to my local Macca's drive-through, and we're trying to spray, some people in the drive-through, have a bit of fun, but no one really comes. And we hadn't thought of this before. Now, we didn't really have a rule with cars. We were all just going to spray people. But then at the same time, like, we got a car.
We couldn't find anyone.
We couldn't find anyone. We were going to spray a car or someone, sitting in their car. Yeah. So we are driving down, and then we see a car parked up. Now, Mark, you're the one who shouts out the car to me, if you remember. You're like, there's that car there with the hazards on.
Yeah, we'll do that, yeah.
So you can tell this bit. So what made you decide this car?
Do I take the responsibility of what occurred then?
Not really, because I think
Because if I'd have just kept my mouth shut and we just
maybe if we didn't get that one car.
All right, yeah, so the thing about me is I'm very impatient.
Yeah.
And I want to
have fun now.
I want to get things done, I don't want to sit there and...
Man still want to wait another 20 minutes to spray someone.
We've spent about half hour setting these guns up and go to Macca's drive-through and Banksia Grove and all that shop centre, and we can't find anyone there, so we thought we'd head into like sort of, more of a local... More mainland, where it could be potentially more busy,
central.
More busy, and I saw a car parked with the hazard lights on the side of a main road, one of it, our main intersection, and I said, oh, let's get that fucker there.
So yeah, Mark's, by the way, Mark exactly says that. It's like, let's get that fucker. He's got his hazards on. Now, we pull past. Now, if I could put this in slow motion, right? For all of us, this is going really fast. Liam's driving bloody, like, not fast, but like 60 Ks. So, like, that's pretty fast considering, like, we don't have time to really react to what we've, like, done. So, we drive past the car, and I notice in, like, kind of slow motion, like, his window is open. He's having a smoke. Now, at the moment when it was going so fast, we were just spraying the guns.
Yeah, so me and Luke are, like, out the passenger side window. We're just spraying this dude.
Going off.
And Liam... Okay, fair enough, Liam, but he wants to see their reaction. Of course, he's driving.
Slow down.
And all that. So he slows down and watches and looks through his wing mirror and all that, and he's having a good giggle. And then...
Because, like, let's say this thing, so by the way, we blast this guy in the face with the water guns. We go drive past and we blast him.
These water guns weren't pathetic. They were proper, like,
yeah, they had, for $2 water guns, they did all right.
Yeah.
Well, how much they were.
Like, little, like, rifle
they blasted
ones,
them, bro.
They're proper blasters, so they weren't like a little pistol.
So I think the guy wasn't too happy. He was having smoke, and we ruined him mid-smoke at 1 a.m.
We would have hit him.
I think
in his face.
Definitely. I think he definitely copped a face shot.
Yeah, he copped a facial, mate.
God, hopefully not from us, but not in that way.
Yeah, from the water guns. Yeah. So and then as we're driving off, this car comes roaring up behind us, and we're like, oh,
because we're celebrating, by the way. We're like, yeah, like,
we got someone. First person we got. And we're like, yeah, let's fucking keep going.
But no.
This is when it kicked off.
Yeah, this guy was not happy. So pretty much he speeds up after us. Liam is kind of like starting to freak out now. He's like, this guy is getting closer. I'm freaking out as well. I'm not freaking out, but I'm like, this guy is like, he's catching up Liam. You got to step on it, bro.
Yeah.
So then he comes up really close to us. He starts going through the cones of not June Drive, so wherever we were, like just going through the cones, like just smashing all the cones up near our local intersection, going through all the traffic. We're like, oh God, like this guy is really pissed. Like I'm starting to realize this guy is actually mad. Like he's not just angry. He is full fucking pissed off. He wants to kill us.
We can see him yelling. And when you say that he was up our ass, literally,
we could see his face pitch perfect.
Like nose to tail, man.
Yeah, like on our ass. Like he was this close to hitting us. Like, I can't show you guys, but if I could show you guys, it's the closest I could show you.
Yeah, if Liam had slowed down the slightest, he would have just...
We brake checked him, he's going behind us. Like we couldn't slow down. If we brake, he's going to fucking hit us.
So we had to keep that speed or go faster.
Yeah, so...
Fucking terrifying, actually.
At this point, it's not getting too bad, but the boys start freaking out a little bit because we're like, okay, I'm a bit more in the backseat kind of figuring out, like, you know, he's not going to hit us because end of the day, he doesn't want to ruin his car. But
because it was a good car.
Yeah, it was a good car, but the thing was, he was not giving up. He was speeding up. He wasn't slowing down. He was chasing us. Like, it got really, really, really to the point of just like over the top.
It got to the point where like, the three of us were arguing, what do we do?
And well, we're constantly arguing between each other because this guy is like, by the way, is now still chasing us. This is like 10 minutes and he's still chasing us.
Yeah.
So
and on our ass still, you know,
on our ass still, multiple times, nearly knocking us like
off
the road, like giving us nowhere to run. So we're like Liam's merging in and out. We're going through different speed zones. So we're like,
my argument was, let's get on the freeway because where we were driving, we were the only two cars on the road.
And it was suburban streets, so we couldn't go that fast, and he could keep up to us.
So whereas on the freeway, you'd have more chances of having more cars around. And Luke had an idea. What was your idea?
So my idea was, I didn't like the freeway idea just because the high speed, you know, I didn't really want to get into a crash or die from this fucking psycho who can't take a joke, which I do understand, by the way. It was pretty dumb of us to do, but it's a little fun thing to do on a Thursday night. So, you know, you get sprayed. But anyway, my plan was we lose him at a traffic light. Now, originally, the boys were freaking out about getting stuck at a traffic light, which I had the idea of it will be perfect to just bait him. So my idea was, we get to a traffic light, we wait for it to go red, he comes out the car and he tries to fight us, and we just bolt. Now, these boys didn't really want to do it because they were a bit scared, but then Marc kind of got on board with the idea.
And we both like...
And this is all, by the way, going on, we're just trying to get away from this psycho.
Doing this,
we're shouting at each other. It was hectic.
It's like football. We're tactically trying to figure out how to get through this game.
Mate, I was freaking out.
But then Luke and I came to the thing, right, let's do both of our ideas. Let's get to a red light, let's find one, stop.
And then hit the freeway. Burst off. Because at the freeway, you can go 100. We can get out of there and just...
Yeah, and we're like, perfect. And we got to a red light.
So we actually get to a red light. Now, we'd been driving for about 25 minutes, by the way. Let me say this, 25 minutes, right? So we get to this red light. This guy is still chasing us, right? Now, I say to the boys, I see the red light. I'm like, all right, this is it. Everyone, no hesitation. When he gets out that car and on my signal, we go. Because I knew how close I could get before he could hit the car or like damage the car. So I bait him out, you know, I'm making him on because I want him to get the car. So I'm like kind of like turning around like he's coming. I'm like waving at him. Yeah, I was waving him on that. Did you not know that? Yeah, so I'm waving him on because he was like he wasn't getting out of the car originally. Like he stopped and then was like that, and I went, yeah, come on. So I've waved him over to think that we're gonna fight. Yeah, like come on, cunt.
Yeah.
So and because by the way, boys, at one point he did look at us and just scream like, "Come on, cunts! Like fucking fight me!" Like he put his window down. He was pissed.
Yeah.
We're at this traffic light. He gets out. He's coming towards the car. I scream, "Go, go, go, go!" Fucking Liam steps on it at first, goes through this red light. We've left this guy for dead in the traffic light. He's out of his car. We've thought we've lost him. Liam kind of takes the L here, not calling out Liam, but he kind of slows down, doesn't take the freeway exit, keeps going suburban, says we'll lose him in the suburban streets. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, are we really going to lose him? Because, like, we kind of like, suburban streets is hard, but I trust Liam. I'm like, you know what, I'll trust him. So we're going for suburban streets. We think we've lost him. We start singing, dancing, you know, we're singing Championes, we're fucking hyped. Yeah. Little do we know, this motherfucker is still on our tail.
Yeah, we turn and we look behind us and fucking right.
I mean, so what happened next, Marc? Because we get to like what, Candlewood area? Like we're like just we're pretty far at this point from where we were. Like originally started the journey.
I didn't even recognize where we were. Liam did, And then we started doing the chase again. And then Liam was like, right, I want to get to this.
Because he caught up to us, didn't he? Yeah.
And I kept on saying to Liam, I was like, dude, don't go down like 50 zone because
we can't go any faster. Like
that could be even more dangerous. There's houses.
Because we were speeding through these zones, not to dob on ourselves, but we were speeding through the zones because we had to. Like we don't want to get killed by this fucker.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to speed too much in a school zone, or not school zone, but in a suburban zone because it's like late.
Man, I was like,
don't want to hit anyone.
Liam wanted to go to like this area that he knew really well, and we ended up getting there, and he kind of started backing off, but like it didn't look as if like he didn't back off as if we've lost him. It was by choice, and then we were like, "Fuck, we might have actually lost him." And I was like, "It's a bit sus here. Like, why is he like backed off? Like he spent."
Because by the way, now it's been another 20 minutes of him chasing us, and then he's just really killed the gas. Like he backed off about how like easy 7 cars away from us. Like he's far. So
we were like, good. We were like, man, he's been us for like a good 40 minutes. Why are you?
So what do you say, Mark? Again? So you said something.
I was like, man, I'm sure he's called the police. And then Luke and that were like, nah, man, of course he wouldn't have because it's water pistols. What's he gonna do?
It's water pistols, and he's the one who's kind of done the illegal thing. Little did I know that he was probably going to lie if he was to report to the police.
So, and we were like, well, hopefully we've lost him. So then we
dip down a left corner somewhere. Liam's like, I know where this is. We're in a shopping centre area. I know a hiding spot. We'll hide there. Yeah, so we hide there
for about a good 20 minutes.
I record a Snapchat recapping the whole event to all my friends. I'm hyped as fuck. I'm really happy that we fucking survived it at this point because I'm like, you know what, we actually won this battle. Like we got one car, we didn't even get to get any. By the way, guys, we didn't get anyone else. It was the first car we sprayed, chased us for 45 minutes in total, giving us hell, nearly like killing us multiple times, like off the road, like nearly ramming us. Like it wasn't no joke. This guy was trying to get us.
Yeah.
So we've eventually lost him. We're celebrating. We decide, you know what, we'll head home. You know, we've had a long night. At this point, it's like 2 a.m. Like, let's just call it. So we start heading back towards home. Now, we get to a set of traffic lights. Now, this is where I kind of don't really know what's going on. So, Mark, if you could take this bit, because I got a bit confused here.
Yeah, we ended up at some like traffic lights, and so as we're going across the opposite, well, how would you say, the opposite road or lane that's coming across us at the intersection, their lights are green, and there's a police car there.
And this police car, by the way, pulls up out of nowhere, like completely out of nowhere.
And the lights are green and they're not going, and Liam's like, oh fuck, that's for us. I'm like, man, like chill, like I don't know, like just
so when I hear this, I'm like to the boys, calm down.
Yeah, like,
we've only got water guns.
Just drive
they pull us over, we'll say, look, we're sorry, blah blah blah.
And
at this point we weren't even sure they were for us because even though the light was green, it was just one cop car. Now
then another cop car pulled up behind the original cop car, and
they're not going. It's still green light for them.
We've been sitting there for about 4 or 5 minutes.
And now it's a red light for us, and it's been like that for 5 minutes. And it's 1 a.m, so there's no cars coming, so we should technically be on green.
Yeah. And we're like, and then the lights go green, and Liam's like, well, what do we do? I was like, man, just drive towards your house.
So it's like Liam's lights finally decide to go green now.
And you want to take over?
Yeah, because this bit annoyed me a little bit. So
sorry, Liam, but
sorry, Liam. This is not a dig, by the way. We do respect Liam. Shout out, Liam. You did a lot of good things this night. There's one thing you did stuff up. So the cops, by the way, to set the little scene, had stopped on the other side of the intersection with traffic lights on green and have just stopped completely still. We finally go green, and it's 2 cop cars there. Liam doesn't know what to do. He's freaking out. Mark's kind of trying to relax him. I decide to say, look, drive normal. Let's head towards home. We've done nothing wrong. We've sprayed one car that's tried to kill us. Like, if he pulls us over, we just tell him what happened, right? It's just slap on the wrist. We'll tell him what's happened. It's not that bad. So Liam goes to take off. I've never seen someone take off in a car so slowly. Honestly, felt like my grandma was on a scooter, like disabled, and was like trying to get across the road, because this took about a good minute to even take off.
And we're like, cunt,
we're like, Liam, drive normal. Like, we're like shouting at him. I don't know what to fucking do. I'm like, dude, drive normal.
Yeah, and even if not to spoil the story, but even if the cops weren't there for us, just seeing someone
it just
drive
looks
up
sus.
Like
it looks so sus.
They'll check you for drugs. They'll check you for drinking,
driving,
anything like that. So regardless, what happened would have happened anyway.
Would have happened anyway.
So as we've gone off, the cop cars start moving.
Follow us around. Now they haven't gone straight. They've done an illegal turn here because they were in the straight lane. They've just turned to right.
Yeah. And we're like, they're for us. And then the lights go on, and Liam's like, what do I do?
Liam freaks out,
and then we're like, pull over, bro. Like, just pull over.
Pull over.
So he pulls over.
What do we say? What do we say? I'm like, look.
What do we say? We're like, bro, tell the truth. Who cares?
Now, this is where the levels change. This story goes to another level. So I noticed that, that there's I look kind of see like through the side mirror of Liam's because I was trying to check. I see cop. All I see is blue and red lights. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of cop cars. Yeah. I think there's like 2 cop cars.
I'm like, 2 that we saw,
it's 2. Now, next, all I hear is, get out of your car, hands on your head, facing away from me. Walk backwards.
And then Liam sitting there.
We all, like, to be fair, we all hesitate a little bit. We're all like, okay, what the fuck? Like, this is, like, because we're expecting them to come to the car door. Again, it comes through. Get out of your car, hands on your head.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you
not going to tell you again.
Yeah.
So we're like, Liam, like, get out the car. Yeah. Like, Liam finally gets out.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, we're like, what the fuck?
And then they're like, get on the ground. And Liam's like, here? And they're like, get on the ground.
And
we're,
by the way, me and Marc are in the car at this point. We have no idea what is going on.
Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, we're going to get fucking dick tonight.
So this is where I make the realization to spoil, like, not spoil the story, but to let you know what was going on, that they think we have fucking guns. At this point, I'm like, yeah, they actually think we have guns. So Liam has got a gun pointed at him, which we didn't know at the time. Just like when this was happening, we didn't know until after we were told.
Yeah.
So they had a gun on Liam. Liam, drops to the floor, does his thing. Then they ask Marc to get out of the car. So they say the same thing to Marc. They say,
like, front passenger on the left, get out the vehicle,
hands on your head,
walk backwards, get on the ground. So I cooperate. I do what I fucking say. I didn't want to do anything.
All for water pistols, by the way.
Yeah, all for water pistols.
So.
Yeah, and then Luke's. They actually did not know that you were in the car at first.
Yeah, I didn't think they did because they didn't say anything. They took a while, and then I think they realized I was in the car. I'm like in the back seat, like, we have fucking water pistols. I'm kind of mad at the same time because I'm like, well, we're getting pulled over for nothing. Yeah. Like, this is a waste of our time, a waste of their time. But at the same time, I'm a bit freaking out because if I move awkwardly, am I going to get shot? I don't know what's going to happen,
And I'm like on the ground with Liam at 1:30 in the morning. It's cold and I got my hands on my head and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah.
Legit, that was going through my head. So I get out the car. They say the same thing. They're like, back passenger on the left side, hands on your head, getting out the car, nice and slowly for me, please. Like, they were fully talking to me.
Yeah.
They asked me to move around Marc because Marc is positioned near the passenger side where I'm getting out. So I have to walk on Marc. I have to walk around him. At this point, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on?
And we didn't actually realize the extent. Well, you'll find out the extent.
You'll find out that we'll get in there.
Yeah.
So if you're still hanging in, because this story just gets better and better.
It's not there yet.
Yeah. So we're walking back. We're all confused. Like, why has this happened to us? Like, I don't really get it. Like, we're like kind of confused. We listen. We cooperate. I lie down. They ask me the same thing. We're lying on the floor. Blah blah blah. What's going on? So they then, before we get in further, they start checking us. So I get patted down, Liam gets patted down, Marc's getting patted down. I think you guys maybe already been patted down.
Well, no, before.
Did you guys get patted down before I did?
No. Beforehand, they went and checked the car.
No, but I got patted down lying on the floor.
Oh, no, I got patted down when I was stood up.
I got patted down twice. I got patted down lying on the floor. He, like, grabbed all my side and was making sure I didn't have any weapons.
I got patted down when they asked me to stand, when I was explaining.
Oh, yeah, lucky. But I get patted down before these guys do, apparently. I'm getting patted down. And then, before anything could even be said, and this is not a diss to Marc at all, by the way. I'm not dissing you, Marc. But Marc just starts talking.
No, because they first of all, they asked if we'd been card.
That was it. So they asked us if we'd been in, what did they say again?
They said, oh, you boys been, like, trying to hijack cars tonight.
Yeah, or something like that. And at first, I don't even understand what he's saying. Like, I don't really get, so it didn't register what he said.
As I'm on the ground with my hands on my head, I'm like, officer, do you mind if I, like, stand up and explain what the fuck's been going on tonight?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, go for it. And as I've stood up, I've realised the fucking extent to what we've caused.
Yeah, because at this point, we've not seen anything. So, like, we still haven't, I've not seen what's behind us.
Liam's still on the floor. I'm the only one who stood up. There are 7 police cars, 14 police officers standing out their cars. There's 2 a car. The whole road's been blocked off.
Yeah, they've parked in front of us, behind us. They've cut the traffic lights off.
And they've all got their guns out.
So, yeah. It was insane.
And I turned and I was like, holy shit, do not say anything. Whack, don't fucking do anything. So then, as soon as I've seen that, I've gotten intimidated. I've just fucking...
Marc's just started blurting everything. Mate, like, he's talking about how many traffic rules are broken, about how... But in the way he's saying, he's coming across quite innocent, quite nice, genuine, just saying, like, look, we did nothing wrong. We went through a red light because we were, like, scared of our lives. Like, this guy was chasing us, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The cop third play to him has said... He's laughing. He's like, whoa, slow down.
Like,
Like, don't dob yourself in, mate. Like... what's happened,
But
and
like,
then
oh man, when you have guns pointed to you,
it's a different story. Yeah, your response is a bit
like,
different.
Fuck,
So
I need to get out
Mark's
here.
told everything that's happened, explained to them that we've not hijacked anybody, that we have water pistols. So when we mention the water pistols, they kind of start to look
Realise
at
what the
confused.
fuck-
They're like, wait,
yeah.
what's going on? So they eventually check the car. They realize that it is water pistols. They move me, Liam, and Mark separately, away. Mark's talking to the officers.
You're talking to your
I'm
officers.
talking to mine. Liam's
So we've got our own
silent,
little
freaking
fucking
out.
personal
Yeah,
officers.
we got all our personal officer. They forget about me for ages.
Yeah.
They end up checking all of our
They check our
charges.
records.
They check our
Yeah.
records. They ask for our names. They ask us what happened.
They
Each
can't-
individually asks us what
Yeah.
our stories were about
Apparently-
what happened.
Yeah, apparently they didn't do it to you two, but like the copper came up to me when he decided, he was like, "Yeah, you were under arrest, by the way."
Yeah, even detained Mark.
yeah,
Was about to arrest Mark.
You're under arrest. You have the choice whether till the detectives come here. So we have fucking detectives
Just
on the way,
rocking up
and they're like,
for
yeah,
water pistols.
Yeah, you have the choice to
Can't
bring.
believe it.
You have the choice to ring your parents and get them involved. And well, I know my parents, my family will listen to this, but if I had to ring my dad at 1 o'clock in the morning
Well,
and
he
say,
ain't fucking happy.
"Calm
What
down,
fault is he? Oh, God.
I've been arrested because I've got fucking
What
water
pistols? He would be
he
confused.
would be fucking
Are you pranking
livid.
me? Are you
Yeah,
pranking me?
he'd be
He'd be
fucking
mad,
livid.
but you think you're pranking
So
me.
I said to the copper, I said, "Will the detective have the right to unarrest me? Like, will he make that choice?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I was like, "All right, well, I'm not ringing him until
Yeah, I'm waiting
I
to see
know
what's going to
what the
happen.
fuck's happening." You know what I mean?
But yeah, they individually all talk to us, they're asking us our stories, what happened. Now, I started to get a bit mad because I'm realizing that this is all a big mistake, that this guy has lied. So I'm asking like quite detailed questions to the cop, like, what's he said. So the story is, he's called up the coppers, said that we tried to hijack him with guns, that we aimed guns at him, and because we tried to hijack him, he's apparently chased us. I don't know anyone that would chase someone with guns.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I kept saying to us. I was like, why would he chase us if
Why
we
would
had
you chase
guns?
a car with guns? You
Yeah,
want to
and
go
then
the
she
other
was
way.
like,
You wanna
she's
get
like,
away from him.
no, he said that you hijacked him. I'm like, yeah, but why would he chase after us? Because that's what he said to you. And she's like, oh, good point. And then
Fucking
we're
tough.
still talking to them, and I'm just realizing, like, how has he got away with this? Like, he's apparently, by the way, guys, information for you, he's a known
He's on the psychiatric.
he's in the
list.
psychiatric ward. He's a known,
Yeah, he's got
person that
fucking
suffers with
mental
things.
issues.
He's a mental fucking nutter that's been let free, and he's just crazy. But
So the one person that we decided to get, the one and only
person is a
we
fucking
decided to get,
nutter.
ends up getting us on the floor at 1 o'clock in the morning.
He got us.
On
He
the,
got
on
us
the
back,
ground,
bro. Fuck
14
me.
coppers, 2 detectives on the way, and he's a
For
fucking
one stupid
he's a
prank.
fucking nutcase. So the chance of that, I don't know, man.
I don't know. It was a fucking madness.
Yeah.
Like, eventually we're talking. I say to her, like, I don't really understand it, how he's getting away with this. And she says to me, it's the way he perceived it. I said, wait, the way he perceived water pistols? She went, yeah, well, they painted black. And we were like, have you seen them? Like, this one, we're like, have you even checked them
They're
yet?
like coloured.
They're coloured. They're like,
and
what?
they were like, and then the detectives, when they came, eventually they were like,
They're
we
not
would
even-
charge you if they were painted black.
They were painted black because they could be, used as
Yeah.
weapons, but
and they could
weren't
be
weapons.
cameoed as
Yeah.
weapons, but they're not. But they were all the coppers were in like good spirits.
They
and,
were,
like,
to be fair, as much as I do hate on cops, because I've had a couple run-ins with them, just them being dickheads. About dickhead shit, really, just
Yeah.
like, it's dumb shit. And most of the time they've been quite dickhead, but these cops were quite nice, and
Yeah.
the way they handled it, I have to
Considering-
say, was pretty decent.
considering what the fucking
What the
complaint
fuck
was
happened?
shit,
Yeah, and then
they were all complaining like, "Oh, I can't believe I wasted my time for this. Like, it's cold."
yeah,
water
they're,
pistol.
we're like,
And then they're laughing and saying, "Oh, I remember when at their age when I was doing."
yeah, a
this
couple
and
of them
that."
were pissed. A couple of them were just having jokes of us, saying
Yeah.
that you mugged him off, he's
And
pissed off, and all
I'm
this.
standing there thinking like, "Oh, these detectives, they're either gonna fucking send us to jail tonight, like arrest, or they're gonna unarrest us." And I don't mean like you're gonna get like sentenced and that, but you're gonna spend the night.
Oh
in a-
yeah,
in a
like they
cop shop,
asked you
you know?
questions. I knew we were fine. I was like,
Yeah.
mate, they can't do anything. We have
So
fucking water pistols.
I was like, it depends what the detectives are like when they rock up. If they're old dudes and they haven't got the patience and they don't understand the ute, then they were gonna be like dicks. Fair enough. But the detectives rocked up and they were quite young.
they looked like they enjoyed their
Yeah,
youth, so I
they
had to
came up,
respect
they were
it.
like, "Gentlemen, like, you guys have had a bit of fun tonight. Who should I speak to?" And then the coppers point to me and go, "Yeah, he's a chat.
He's a chatterbox.
Speak to him." So I'm like, "Oh fuck." So
Mark snitched. I'm joking. Snitch 9. Snitch 9.
and because Liam wasn't saying much. He was
Nah,
shit
Liam
brick.
was
You and I were
shook.
the only ones
Yeah,
that were really talking.
me and Mark were just talking.
So we were chatting about everything that had happened again to the detectives, and they were like, "Well, we're not going to arrest you boys, but one of you is going to have to cop a fine."
And they start trying to think of a fine on the spot they can give us. And they're making it up. They're like
And
trying to revenue
having a
raise.
joke about it.
Yeah, they're like, get the blue book out, boss.
You guys went to fucking cop school. What's the fine for this? What's the fine
surely.
for
What can we give him?
protruding
Is
your
that
arm out the
protruding the
window?
arm? Yeah,
And
dickhead.
And they were like, right, which one of you is copping the fine? And without any split second of anyone to think, I put
This
my
is big
hand
ups,
up.
by the way. Big
I
ups,
put my hand
Marc.
up and I was like, I'll cop the fine. And he's like, oh, sick. And he was like, right, what's your details? Gave him my details. And I was like, but as long as we can get the fuck out of here, I don't care, you know. And then one of the coppers said to Luke, "Oh yeah, you've got a good friend over there." But we already said before this
even happened,
before
then
this
we
even
kind of
happened,
foreshadowed it
Liam
without him
said,
realizing.
If I get any speeding tickets, anything like that, we split it 3 ways.
Yeah, we split it 3 ways.
So-
we already decided this in the car on the chase. But like,
And
if we
were
get
like,
any
fucking
fines or
too
spine,
easy. So I knew that, like, regardless, if we get
the boys had you.
yeah, we had the boys, you know.
But what, like, just to recap, what a night! Like, this is why the podcast didn't come out, because we had all this happen. I broke my nose. We got into a cop chase.
Yeah.
But anyway, at the end of the cop chase, or not cop chase, sorry, but at the end of the whole cop thing happening, they eventually let us go. It's like 3 a.m. at this point. We're freezing.
Yeah.
We've been out in the cold. Like, it's so cold. Like, it's like 3 a.m. It's about 8 degrees. We're freezing.
Yeah.
Like, it's cold. We don't want to be outside.
The fucking copper that was when we were pulled aside, the copper came at me, he's like laughing, he's like, "Huh, do you see the fucking guns they all had pulled on you?" And it's like, mate, I don't know what the fuck you're laughing at. But
Yeah,
I wasn't really
I didn't get
looking
to
at
check
the
it out. It's like,
guns.
you know, they had
I
all
was just
guns on you.
fucking
We're like,
listening to him, you know,
hell.
bro. Like, I don't, oh, mate. But yeah, what an incident we caused. The first
car,
First
literally
car.
first car we see.
We did no one else. We did nothing else, and the rest is history. They didn't even. You know what was really strange to me? They didn't even say, "Don't do it again."
No,
That was silly. They didn't confiscate it. They were just like, "Oh, They were like, "Oh, this guy's got mugged off, and he's pissed off, and he's called the cops."
because I think they realized that this guy had wasted their time more than we'd wasted their time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this guy had made a false report to the cops at like God knows what hour about us spraying water at his face.
Yeah.
And he had a smoke in his hand, fair enough. But mate, like, get over it. It's a bit of water, a bit of fun. But we will move on.
Yep.
As much as it was a great story, and I hope you guys did enjoy it. This is gonna be like a little special.
Yeah,
it will be titled
anyone who wants
Story Special
any
plus
further
Prem.
info or have any questions, DM us.
We've got
on
some
Instagram,
good videos about
message
it.
us. We got videos if you want to see the videos.
Because we have to keep it kind of, YouTube friendly. We can't go into too much detail about.
We can't
everything.
show everything, but we have stuff that if you want to see it,
You can see it.
Get
Let
in
us know.
contact with us personally.
So make sure you do follow at the 3 Points Podcast _
Yep.
on Instagram
Yep.
for the best content on the ground, really. We've been posting the good content. But all right, should we move into this week's Premier League?
Yeah, go on then.
Because I know it's not this week. Technically, it was about last week. But for us, it's the week gone. So we will talk about those results. Marc, if you want to lead that.
Just getting into that. Whilst we've been recording the episode, Elliot Stone has responded to our story on Instagram and said, "Ask how the nose is." Aha.
Yeah, the nose is still fucked, but man's still, looking good. Yeah, I still look good.
What was the question that you asked the boys in the group chat? Like, can I still?
I can't remember now. I don't know what I asked.
You asked to eat something.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe we'll leave that one.
We'll leave that. And
if you know, you know. If you know, you know.
If you're in West Ham under 13s, you just go back to the group chat. You'll find that. And Daniel O'Callaghan messaged us saying "lovely jubbly." So big shout out.
Daniel and Elliot.
And we'll get into the Premier League results from our prediction table. And Luke's running away with the league table at the moment. I think I'm gonna have to either pick up the results or else I'm gonna be wearing that fucking Chelsea top 8.
Oh, because I think you will be. But before we jump straight into that, what game do you want to cover first? We've got quite a lot of games this week that happened.
Well, do you want to say where the league
do you want to do the table from the last week? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to read all the results out, but I'm going to give the score update.
I want the score update.
So
Marc.
I'm on 26 points. I made 4 points.
Yeah.
Luke's on 32.
Yes.
And he made fucking 8. And he got a correct score for
Tottenham. Which we're going to cover these games now, so you'll see.
Wanker.
That's a good segue into first game.
Yeah.
He's mad because he knows he's wearing that Arsenal shirt at the end
I'm wearing
of
that
this
Chelsea
season.
shirt.
Oh, in Chelsea shirt. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I was a bit worried about I'm going to wear that Arsenal shirt, and I'm fucking not wearing that Arsenal shirt. God, it's giving me nightmares already. Like, I'm already imagining us having to post it on Instagram. Marc, you better not fucking pussy out, bro. Like, you're wearing that shirt. You have to wear it. I'm sorry, you have to wear it. If it happens, you have to.
We've still got you think about it, we still got like another.
That's what I'm
30
saying.
episodes
But you know what?
fucking-
We'll jump straight into the Tottenham game because this is one of the games where I didn't really like watch it that much, but it was one of those games for me where I felt like because of the lineup, I knew they were gonna be like weak. Tottenham's not a team I watch week in, week out, but I knew with that result I predicted that they were gonna play like this. They seem to dominate possession, and they do really well. But it's like the lack of chances just being converted into goals. Yeah, like the clinic. Like Harry Kane is a great striker. Do not get me wrong, and I think he finishes well. But these last 3 games, I just feel like that Tottenham like link up this is where I'm noticing like any team can win the league, because as much as Tottenham win this game 1-0, yeah, it's an important win in the title race. I know it's still early on in the season, it's an important win, but it just shows you that like start of the season, remember how many goals getting banged in from like Tottenham, like 6-1 against United, and then look at now they're struggling to beat a team like West Brom 1-0. So I think that shows that like you can't rely on star players for the whole season, because they will go through their droughts, they will go through their things. So the question I have, do Tottenham have a plan B to Son and Kane? Do they have that? I know they got Bale.
Yeah.
And I know they do have some options on the bench, but what I'm really asking is, do Tottenham have the depth to really see out this Premier League season and actually push for that title? Because right now they are second, so you could say they are, trying to compete for the title this season.
Well, you have to have a look at their next 5 fixtures as well. They've got City at home, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, Palace away, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Now, whatever happens in the next 5 fixtures, that will really paint the big picture of whether Tottenham are actual title contenders.
Because this is where the table really starts to set itself just before Christmas time.
Tottenham have got a massive next 5 fixtures, man. Like
big.
They could. This could end up making or breaking their season. If
So we're just looking at those fixtures. They do have City, then they have Chelsea. These are all Premier League fixtures, sorry. So they have City, Chelsea, then Arsenal, then Crystal Palace, and then Liverpool.
Yeah, so
that's a big fixture list coming up for Tottenham right now.
That's 4 of the big 6.
Yeah, and that's what really set the table for me. Like if they win those 4 out of 5 games, I'd say they're probably first on the table.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But oh man, it will really those fixtures will be so pivotal to seeing what happens with Tottenham this season. If they end up losing the City, losing the Chelsea.
The reason why I go on about them not converting shots is like if you just look at the stats. I know I don't really like looking at stats too much. It doesn't always like show you how the game really went, because certain moments happen with passages of play. But if you just go off the stats alone, 19 shots to only 5 on target. So first of all, their shot conversion ratio to on target is poor.
Yep.
So the chance that they really are making is like 5 real clear-cut chances, and they're only banging 1 goal. And it wasn't like they were, ahead of they had to get it in the last 5 minutes of the game, 88th minute from Harry Kane. Again, relying on Harry Kane to save him. And not to save him because they did dominate the game in possession as well, 59-41. But it's more the fact of you're letting a team like West Brom stay in for that long. In future games, it could come back to bite you.
Yep.
Overall, though, I do feel Tottenham played decent. I think they played all right. I don't think it's a result that you can't be too mad about, because you will take the 3 points end of the day, and that's another push in that title race. But again, that's just my thoughts on that game really is that, do Tottenham have a plan B? Because when I watched that game, to me, it just seemed like they have one plan, and that is Son, Kane, Bale, that's the future plan of that club. But it's like, if one of those gets injured, who's coming in? Yeah, the squad depth. And like this is why teams like Chelsea and so not really so much City, but teams like Liverpool, like they have depth, but at the same time, when big players get injured, like you're seeing at the moment with Van Dijk and all this, Gomez, like the fixture list that these top 6 clubs are playing at the moment are going to keep getting filled with injuries. And do these teams have the depth to fill these squads out?
Yeah.
And the only team right now that I can see having that depth is Chelsea and City, really.
Yeah.
But apart from that, like a lot of teams in the Premier struggle for depth in the positions they have. So it will be interesting to see where Tottenham do
and
kind of
Harry
go
Kane's
with this.
Injury prone,
And so is Son.
And so Son. So it all I think rests on keeping those players fit. And I still question Tottenham's defence.
Yeah.
And when they go up against these sides coming up, especially teams like Liverpool and Chelsea. They're going to be, they'll be questioned. Not so much City.
Yeah, not
so
down
much
Lloris as a keeper or anything like that, but you can only do as good as the defence in front of you. And sometimes Tottenham defence does look quite shaky.
Yeah.
I know they've made improvements with the signings they've made and all that, but I just feel like, again, Tottenham's...
They're not being like Liverpool where you go out and that you just like...
They're not a decisive side, I would say, as much as Tottenham have been playing well, they are having shot results here and there, and I think the wins they are making are not substantial wins to really put them in that title contention place. I know I do say it week in, week out. That's just mainly to troll you. But my actual opinion on Tottenham as a club, I feel like they have the right idea, wrong execution.
Yeah.
I feel like they're a good side that play good football, but they lack Jose's always had this issue. It's just plan B. It just seems to be that plan A. And if that plan A doesn't work, who's he got? Because when he lost Kane to injury last season, it really fucked him up. And
he was asking the physio, I don't want him injured. Like, can he play any way?
But the final result for that game was 1-0.
But at the end of the day, a win's a win, but you do have to question sort of like who they went up against and the score. And
a team like West Brom, West Brom, again, are normally fighting relegation most seasons.
Yeah, they're third bottom.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a good result of 1-0. It's a grafted result, and I have to respect it. But at the end of the day, it's not a result I think you can really sit there and be super, super proud of.
Yeah.
I think you take it and you move on, and you hope the next game you come out, you really dominate that game. But we'll move on from that game.
Yep.
I do want to talk about the Everton Man U game. So that was 3-1 to Man U. Your boy got the prediction right.
Yeah.
Marc, sadly, going with
Everton win.
Everton. Now, I can understand why you made that prediction, but as I said on the previous episode of the podcast, Ollie always brings these results out the bag. I feel like he knows how to save his skin. And yet again, Mr. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has saved it. Really not much to kind of say. He's just kind of done the impossible again and saved his job on the line. The fact that he's done this now, easily a handful of times, 5 times saved his job is just impressive to me now. I'm gonna have to give my hats off to him because it's a big game.
Works
and
in the favour of the other 19 teams in the Premier League.
Mate, I'm happy he's staying. He sees that Ollie's back in the job, but to give a recap of the game, pretty much Everton starting the opening 20 minutes very well. Beautiful orchestrated goal taken down from Bernard in the box. Good feet, finds a space, near post, beats De Gea. Very lovely taken goal. Bernard is one of those players for me, Brazilian. He has got the quick feet. The Brazilians have this special little tiki-taka football and just the skills in general. So it was a great taken goal. And I have to actually give some shout to Maguire here. Normally I bag him each week.
Yeah.
But did you watch the game, by the way, the Everton Man United game?
No.
So
I was at Liam's.
Maguire actually played really well.
Yeah.
Defensively, clearing headers off in the box, aerially playing well. And he did save them a last-minute winner. Goal from Everton. Good header in the box, and it just kind of made me realize that Maguire, when he does perform, can be quite a good player for United. But at the same time, it's the inconsistency. You have 1 week he does so well, and then I'm talking about how good Man United were for that result, right? Because they were good enough to get that win.
Yeah.
But then next week I could be talking about the complete opposite. That's how inconsistent they are right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did call it. I did say Ole would save his job.
Yeah.
It just showed that. And then we had Bruno again showing his class. Bruno Fernandes, a great player, scoring 2 goals. Even kind enough in the post-match interview to say that it was Rashford's goal. It wasn't. Watch it back. The stats are recorded as Bruno's goal. Didn't really touch Rashford, but the fact that he would even give it to the guy, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Rashford claimed it at the time, and the fact that he just said that's his goal. It just kind of made me laugh a little bit. I was like, damn, that's such a good teammate you want and a leader in the dressing room. And then we had also Cavani breaking his scoring debut for United, grabbing himself a goal. And it was just beautifully worked from Fernandes again, involved in all 3 goals for United. The way he worked the ball in the middle and then kind of just passed it straight back out to Cavani, baited in the defenders inside the middle and then out to the wing for Cavani to get a really lovely taken goal. Luca Digny coming close, could have bagged a goal, smashing it against the crossbar in about the last 10 minutes of the game. And then, Man U survive another week. It just seems that each week, United seem to understand that, we've got to fix up. And they fix up for a couple of weeks and then they go back to shit. But this kind of puts your club in a kind of position right now where we'll talk about it, and we'll segue to that game next. But it kind of puts Arsenal in a position of, Man U could go above you if they win the game on the weekend.
Yeah.
Which is kind of shocking to think about as much as we've been praising Arteta the last couple of weeks. So, again, United, I really am sorry I get hard on you guys, and I think you did deserve this result, a good 3-1 result against Everton, who, let's talk about them for a second, been struggling with form recently, lost their last 2 games, I believe. What's going on there?
I don't know. I think they start off with a few good results. I think James Rodriguez, Alan Doucouré, all their new signings, it kind of brought that feeling to the squad and to the team that they're on this path to doing something better. But again, I don't know what it is with Everton. I've always thought that every season, at the beginning of each season, I think, Everton have got a good squad. They could
They can challenge. They could challenge top 8.
top 4, top
it's
6,
European spots.
But they never do. And they sign well. They spend. They're border ambitious.
Yeah.
Having Ancelotti as a manager is ambitious.
They're an ambitious club. They try to reach for the
they
levels
want
They want
success,
European. They want to be a successful club.
Their
And I
owners
have to praise
clearly
it.
love Everton, and they're doing it for the benefit of the club and for the fans. But I don't know. I think whether they've got the mentality to like we were talking about last week, pick themselves up after a loss
and dust themselves off and go again.
I don't know.
So that's my bad. 3 losses on the trot now. So
Yeah.
they've lost to Southampton. Southampton. Oh my god, it's just glitched out on me. Southampton. They lost to United, obviously, and Newcastle. So lost to Newcastle last week, Southampton the week before. And they're on a bad run of form. And for me, it just shows that Everton right now, they need another option and maybe a plan B. I think Ancelotti's got to work with what he's got, and I think at that club he wants more. I think he'll get more signings in the upcoming window, maybe strengthen up the back because you're conceding quite a lot of goals. Obviously, Pickford can be a class keeper. I don't think you can really question him. I know he's been quite poor this season. But I feel like Pickford's a really good keeper. I think he gets a kind of unnecessary stick. Maybe I'm defending him a bit too much here, but I do rate Pickford. I think he's very demanding at the back. I think he's got a good voice, very good for the defenders, very vocal leader, someone that leads by example.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting to see how Everton bounce back from them. They've got Fulham next week, I believe.
Yeah.
So it'll be when the Premier League returns, they have Fulham on the 22nd. So it'll be interesting to see how they get bounced back against them. They need a big win because Fulham have not done anything this season of interest. So if you do not beat Fulham, Europeans looking out the window for you.
Yeah. I think they'll return to winning ways against Fulham, and it's something to build on. But Ancelotti's really got to go in there and drill that mentality that you need to stay the whole. If you lose a game, this season is so open that it doesn't matter.
That any team can win. It reminds me of the 2015 season where we talked about the other week, 2015-2016, where Arsenal beat Leicester twice and still finished second.
Yeah.
Leicester still won the league.
Yeah,
exactly. This is a season where you could lose to rival teams twice.
Yeah.
And it's because of their form, still be in contention to winning the league.
Because if you think about it, top and 20th, top is Leicester, 20th is Sheffield United. There's only 17 points that separates both. That's
and
top
that's
and
really
bottom.
not that much.
And then you got all the teams in the middle, 10th, 12 points, top 18, 6 points. You know what I mean? So Everton really need to realise that although they've gone and lost the game, their season's not cooked just because
it's not over. Yeah,
they've got to go
they
out there,
need to really bounce back.
Up,
so they've lost 3 games now, and I think that's got to be your wake-up call.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But we will move on from that game, and we will move on into the Southampton-Newcastle game, which was a 2-0 result to Southampton. A really good result for Southampton, actually. Looked absolutely amazing. The quick football from them, the way they played their game, I feel like Southampton right now is a team that, you have to give them credit. They're second on the table. They did go to first for the first time in ages, but obviously due to other results coming in on the weekend, they fell back down to 4th, I believe. So they went first and they went second. I think they're now 4th or something like that. Actually, you can check that. I'm pretty sure they are sitting 4th or 5th. Southampton.
They're 4th.
Yeah, so they did drop
2
down.
points behind top.
But they did go first for the first time in ages because of, obviously, like I just said, other results not coming in. But Southampton linking up in the midfield really well. Shea Adams, a solid striker, a really good signing for Saints actually over that. Like, I think he's been there for about 2 seasons now. Not too sure on that. So don't fact check me on that. But Shea Adams, just from Birmingham City, when I played with him in career mode on FIFA, I knew this guy was beast. Just having him on that video game, and I remember watching him in real life and thinking, his potential, his strength, his size, his speed can really be big. And it was big in FIFA, and it's been big in real life. Like, this guy is doing so well in the moment in the Premier League. He's bossed it. Did you see his strike?
Yeah.
Volley? Jesus Christ. Like, hammers it. Good save from the keeper, actually, to push it out, to then come back in the box from Walcott. First time finish from Shea Adams to brag the first goal. Beautiful finish. I think he gets not a lot of credit he deserves in the Premier League. I think he's a great striker. Obviously, he's been consistent recently, but can, Southampton keep this good run of form? 5 games on the trot with 5 wins.
Yeah.
And I think, getting that draw against Chelsea, it's just they're showing that they are consistent this season. But to me, Newcastle looked really, really poor as well. I can't give them any credit. They didn't show anything inspiring. I think maybe they could have on a different day grabbed a result from Southampton, just if they turned up. But Saint Maximin did nothing. Didn't look promising at all. I felt like they were just playing between the lines, finding space too easily. I feel like Newcastle would just split, so their low block was split so quickly. I feel like that midfield four was just getting absolutely destroyed. I feel like the only way Newcastle can really find any save from that game was the fact they only got beat 2-0.
Yeah.
Because that game could have easily been 4-0.
Yeah.
They played poor. Did you have any thoughts on that game?
No, I just think that Southampton need to. They're sitting fourth now, and who have they got coming up next? They've got. Look, they've got Wolves, United, Brighton, Sheffield, Arsenal. There's some
winnable
games there.
But at the same time, if you don't pick up these points sooner or later, it's going to start to get worrying for Newcastle fans.
And that's Southampton's fixture.
Southampton's fixtures.
Chelsea, they got
next. See, this is even worse.
Chelsea, Palace, Villa, West Brom, Leeds. So Southampton,
they got a better fixtures than fucking Newcastle. To be honest,
if they can do the opposite of whatever it does, if they can pick up some results that they should win, and if they hit any roadblocks on the way, pick themselves up and pick up.
And this is what I keep talking about. Yeah. Any team this season can finish in the top 6, in the top 2, in the top 4, in the first place. Like, any team can win the season this year. Any team can finish in the European spots, because no team has yet to stand out and really, certify themselves. But from one team that I want to talk about later, which is Chelsea, I feel like recently, we won't go too much into it yet. But I feel like, right now it's really open to any team. I just don't feel like that Southampton are really a top team. Like, in my opinion, I don't think they're a team that can sustain this form. Yeah. But for what I'm seeing right now, I have to admire it and applaud what's been done over there.
Yeah, no, it's early days for everyone, but the table's looking very backwards at the moment.
It's a bit weird, and I mean, another good result, honestly, for Southampton, 2-0. Yeah. Nothing really more to say apart from Newcastle. To me, really looked poor. Armstrong, though, to be honest, with a great finish. And the way he moved the ball inside the box to find that space to then finish that goal was perfect. I feel like right now, if you're a Southampton fan, you're feeling quite happy, quite comfortable, quite confident.
Yeah.
And their coach has been saying they've been training like a top team, and he believes that they can do well. So good luck to Southampton for the rest of their upcoming fixtures. And I do wish them the best, but I just feel like let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
Yep.
I feel like any team can win this season, but I don't think we should really be getting too crazy about each week, because and it's going to ruin the hype. But that's what I like about the Premier League. It's so unpredictable right now.
Yep.
So it's a bit of yin and yang, but. Honestly, all I could say was McCarthy honestly should be up there for like man of match performance, because he saved freaking them from losing so much more than what they did. Not McCarthy. Sorry, McCarthy for Southampton saved the shot from Jolingen, which nearly ruined the game for would have got Newcastle back into the game. Yeah. Was going top bins. McCarthy pushes it out the air with a nice header coming in. So I have to respect McCarthy for that, keeping Newcastle really in the game, because the last 10 minutes, as most teams do, they sit off. Southampton sat back. Newcastle pressed. And Newcastle could have maybe grabbed a result on a different day. But, McCarthy did really well for Southampton and kept them in the game.
Yeah.
But do we want to move on from that game?
Yeah, go on. I didn't really watch a lot of the games this weekend besides of the Liverpool City, Arsenal Villa. I saw practically the highlights, but I haven't got much to talk about in depth.
Well, we can move on to the Crystal Palace Leeds game, because the reason I want to talk about this game is because the Bamford VAR decision. That's mainly the big highlight from this game. If you guys did not see it, pretty much Bamford was through on goal, hand was sticking out, calling for the ball, was then flagged offside. Now, we talk about VAR a lot, so I'm not going to cover it in great depth this episode. I just think, again, another awful decision. Yeah. Another thing where, how is his arm pointing to where he wants to receive the ball affecting it in any way?
Yeah.
In any way.
Again,
the wrong use of the way the rules have been made. Yeah. And this is pointing out for something that has now been becoming more known to me. VAR isn't the issue.
Yeah.
It's the rules.
Yeah.
The rules aren't clear cut.
I know that
human, we should, look at the rules and say, okay, well, let's not apply it to everything. But if the rules are rules, VAR is going to follow the rules.
Yeah.
So if the rules are saying the arm's offside, or this part of
the
the arm's offside, then it's offside.
Yeah, the rules need to be looked at.
But that's when the rules need to be, like you said, looked at and changed, because that was so disgusting to watch, and again ruined football for me. But I'm not going to rant about it too much. Patrick Bamford was robbed, but then he did come back and actually score a goal later in the game. But But yeah, it was a great header from Scott down to get the first one in. It was an in-swinging cross that came in to then grab the goal for the first one. We then had a beautiful free kick from Izzy in the top left to make it 2-0. And then from there, Patrick Bamford took the ball perfectly down in the box for a half volley into the bottom corner, making it 2-1. And then from there, really, Leeds just got their day just turned from bad to worse. It took a nasty deflection that led to a goal. It was a ball into the box that took a deflection that sadly crept into the bottom corner of the goal. And I have to really feel bad for Bielsa and his squad at the moment. I feel like Leeds, like if you look at the stats, did really well that game. Even the way they played well. They play such good attacking football. Defensively, yeah, they struggle and they concede goals, but it's lapses of mistakes. They make one mistake and they got punished.
Yeah.
That's all that happened really. Crystal Palace punished their mistakes. But I do have to credit Crystal Palace, missing some key players. Danny Ings, not Danny Ings, sorry. Missing some key players from the Palace side and still managed to grab 4 goals against the 1.
Yeah.
So you have to credit Palace, again, taking the chances when they need to. But yeah, Leeds, in my opinion, were unlucky. I feel like they got punished way more than that they deserved. I felt like it was one of those games for me where, like a FIFA game where you get that jammy game where you have 7 shots that hit the post and then they get the 2 goals that go in. It's just one of those games where it was a bit jammy.
Yeah.
Jordan Ayew again got a goal, wraps up the game to make it 4-1. And that goal, I think the players thought it was offside, but he's crept the ball, through ball in, and it just took the ball straight in his stride and finished that. And again, one of those things where it could have gone either way that game.
Yeah.
I think it could have been 4-1 to Leeds. It could have been 4-1 to Palace. And the game ended 4-1 to Palace. So, obviously, you didn't really watch that game, so you got really nothing to add.
No, not really.
Alright, cool. Do you want to move on to the Man City? Did we talk about the Man City Liverpool game? No, we haven't yet. So you want to talk about that game? Did you watch that game? We watched that game together, actually. Yeah, we did at your house. So you can talk about this game.
I like last week, I said that City have a trouble with scoring goals. I had that issue.
And I felt like we had both had at the start of the game, had that eerie feeling that it was going to be one of those games that was going to be very open defensively.
Yeah.
But it was going to be who was going to take those chances.
It was end-to-end football.
Instantly. First 20 minutes was probably the most exciting match I've watched this year.
Yeah. De Bruyne's penalty that he missed, that was...
Big moment.
I question what's happening with City. Not the fact that...
It's just not there at the moment, is it? It's not clicking. Something isn't right there.
Yeah, I think the last 4 games have only scored 1 goal.
And compared to what they had last season is just astonishing.
1-0 against Liverpool. What is it? 1-0 against Sheffield United. 1-0 West Ham. 1-0 against
poor results
Arsenal,
recently.
1-0 against Leeds.
But at the same time, it's not really, if they're getting the results, and again, they're not really, getting the results they want.
Mid-table at the moment, they are.
Yeah, they're not really getting the results they want, but they're staying in and around that spot. They've got a game in hand on every other team.
Yeah, 3 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss.
Exactly. So they've only lost once. Yeah. So I think we have to remember that, City have still managed to keep quite a good defensive record. But it's their attack just doesn't look the same without Aguero in the side.
Yeah.
So to go through the game, pretty much Kyle Walker giving away a very fucking clumsy challenge in the box on Mane, which gives Salah the penalty. And every time Salah gets a penalty this season, he's banging it in. Straight to the left side of the post. And really from there, it was just very exciting, very open play. I feel like City counter-attack, then it was a Liverpool counter-attack. I couldn't fucking keep up at one point. It was so good to watch. Back and forth. But then, obviously, De Bruyne with a class whips the ball in straight to Jesus. To Sterling, which he then misses the sitter. Yeah. Again, Sterling, just for me, misses so many easy goals. Like that goal in front of Alisson, you should be bearing. He takes his time, fluffs his lines, and then he ends up hitting it straight into Alisson between the legs, and it takes a deflection off his leg and goes out. But for me, that's a finish. Like you're getting balls in like that from De Bruyne. Mate, it was a beautiful ball and so inviting the way he just whips it in with a bit of like finesse on it straight into the penalty spot for Sterling to do what Sterling does and not finish the chance. Yeah. It's like Sterling scores the hardest goals. Yeah, but when it's the easiest ones, I get so stressed.
Sitters and all that.
Yeah, sitters, you just get so stressed watching him. But then again, De Bruyne is showing his class later on in the game, getting the ball back into the area for Jesus to take a touch, which, let's talk about that. Was it accidental? Did he mean it? Was it a bit of a spin-off, bit of luck? But he's one of those players that's so aggressive, though, so assertive with his play. I feel like he knew, wherever this ball goes, I'm onto it. Because he's that play, he's so assertive.
I don't know, but it
was a good touch because the touch has come off him, flicked around Alexander-Arnold, and then he's took it in his stride and finished a very good goal to make it 1-1.
Yeah.
And then from there, I believe that Liverpool kind of ran away with the first half. Had more chances, more clear-cut chances anyway. But then going into the second half, I think Man City grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. I think they took it to Liverpool. I think they really exploited how weak Liverpool defense was at the moment without Van Dijk. And then, we had the penalty that De Bruyne just scuffed wide, which is so rare to see De Bruyne miss a penalty like that. Such a sitter as well. Obviously, like in front of goal, you're one-on-one with the keeper. Like, that's all it is. You versus the keeper. Every time De Bruyne is in front of that, you're backing him every time. Like, I honestly thought De Bruyne had got that in there. I stopped looking. I was on my phone. I had no worries that he was going to score that. Yeah. And then, put it wide of the post. So, very odd. It was
a madness.
It was a madness game. And then I did call, though. I did want, to be honest, as a Chelsea fan, I wanted a 1-0.
Yeah.
I wanted City to stay down the table. I didn't want Liverpool to gain any more points. And the way that was going to happen was if there was a draw or a Man City win. So, pretty much sum up that game. It was pretty much dominated end-to-end stuff. I felt like Liverpool really dominated the first half, and I felt like the more City grew into the game, the more they showed how good City can be when De Bruyne is on the ball, find those passes into the box.
Yep.
But we'll move on from that game.
We'll talk about
Chelsea. We'll go into our game, the Chelsea-Sheffield game, which I had a very fucking good prediction, Mark. 4-0, ended up being 4-1.
Yeah.
So it was a good prediction from me. Almost had it. I didn't really want to concede, but we started the game off quite scary.
Yep.
Sheffield scoring the first goal. For me, that kind of worried me. But from there, we just looked beautiful. We switched on so quickly. Ziyech providing the balls into the box. Abraham getting a great goal. The finish that he took just into the ground. Honestly, at the moment, I really love Tammy Abraham. I think he's, like I said last episode, he's took his role in the squad so well.
Yeah.
When he gets those chances to play and he's in that starting 11, he takes it beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like he's one of those players right now where he, like I said last episode, he could have just walked into the office and said, "No, I'm going somewhere else," or "I want a bigger role in the club."
Yeah.
And he's proven it now. He's got the chance to make it.
Yeah.
And he's took that role with Werner on the wing because Havertz was injured.
Yeah.
So we had Werner and kind of thingy up front. Sorry, not up front. With Tammy up front, Werner on the wing, and then we had Ziyech on the other wing.
Yeah.
I think it worked really well. But yeah, right now I'm really loving the whole squad. I think that Chelsea right now are looking so polished, so finished. I'm not going to get too carried away because the teams we have been versing recently, but you got to admit, Mark, we're looking good.
Yeah, you're looking good. Yeah,
Chelsea are looking strong in the attack. I mean, people like Ziyech. Let's talk about Ziyech for a second. He's a wizard. Did you watch the game or any of the highlights or anything like that?
Yeah.
Ziyech played out of his skin, mate. The balls he was whipping into the box were just unbelievable. 2 assists that game for him.
What a signing.
What a signing he's been for this team. I think finally after this knee injury, he's clicking back in the squad. I feel like he gets along so well. But yeah, do you want to talk about him for a second?
Yeah, no, he was he's had like three brilliant games in a row.
4 games 3 games in a row in a trot,
So far, I think as a neutral, you probably think differently being a Chelsea fan. I think he's been your signing of the season so far, 100%. Alongside Mendy, because as soon as you got Mendy in,
he solidified the defense.
Yeah, you just been winning games. You've been actually like.
I'm going to be conceding less,
conceding less, and
this takes me to my point of, are Chelsea title contenders now?
Of course.
And I feel like we are. I know at the start of the season, everyone kind of gave me a bit of shit when I said that. My original statement. I mean, we did the poll, and the poll was very negative. But I felt like Chelsea can definitely challenge for the title.
After the money you've spent and the team you've got, of course you are title contenders. You guys have got a good run of form now.
Yeah.
If you're consistent with it over the next 4 or 5 games, you'll be
and that's
well
why
and truly up there.
At the moment, I'm really loving the formation Chelsea are playing. So the way that we're setting up at the back and the formation we have allows us to be so attacking. It allows these goals. It allows Ziyech to control that kind of midfield area, the wing area. And I think right now, like, if you put it down to it, so far Chelsea looking the most consistent recently in the league. They're looking like the most promising to actually kind of spur on from the form they're in.
Yep.
Having the likes of Reece James and Ben Chilwell on the flanks, on the left and right back role, it just gives you that comfortability of ease. For example, Ben Chilwell, he can do it all defensively and attackingly. Defensively, he can hold the shape of the squad. He's got, like he said in the interview, Thiago Silva on the right of him, talking to him, letting him know what's going on, where should I stand? Where should I be next? Imagine having that experience at the back. It's all Chilwell, and we got Chilwell back there.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
He scored us a goal, and he just looks so comfortable at the back.
Yeah.
And I really love that at the moment. And the same with Reece James, again, looks so comfortable, so dominant, so experienced for such a young player. I think everyone on the pitch, you pick a position, we've got that. Kante at CDM looking perfect. I just feel like right now everyone's gelling together. The team chemistry looks there. We look like a team that really wants to win a trophy.
Yep.
And I think that's a team that's scary. It reminds me of like when we had the Drogba era, where Drogba just seemed to have this force in the change room where like when he played, he demanded everything from his team. And I feel like now it's not one player, it's the team is demanding everything from the team.
Yep.
Lampard's demanding everything from them. They're demanding everything from themselves. So it'll be interesting to see how Chelsea go on from this result. 4-1. I mean, apart from conceding the goal, Mendy looking brilliant again.
Yeah.
So composed at the back, and I feel like right now, we're in a good run of form, and I feel like like I said, I keep saying it, but you have to put respect on Lampard's name and Chelsea's name.
So what's minimum expectations for Frank and Chelsea
for this season now?
What would it take for you to sit at the end of the season question Lampard's position as a manager?
I think if we don't finish top 4. So top 4 is the minimum.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really hoping we do challenge for the title.
Yeah.
I feel like it's there to be taken. Why, as a Chelsea fan, why is it ludicrous to think we can't challenge for it?
Yeah.
I feel like Lampard, for me, has to finish top 4.
Yeah.
If he doesn't finish top 4, I feel like then there's some worries. Depending on how those results go, because you got to judge a manager by like kind of the results. And also by the way he's built the team. If the team's looking good, but we kind of got unlucky, then maybe I'll be open to having him for another season.
Yeah.
But if we finish out top 4, I am starting to question. I'm going to question Lampard, but I do think we're gonna challenge for the league. I feel like top 4 is pretty much certified. I'm being cocky, but I feel like right now the form we're in, I know it can change. I know injuries can happen.
Yeah.
But the depth we have with people like Mount on the bench, with Callum Hudson-Odoi on the bench, with like these young English players, Billy Gilmore, like we've got so much talent and depth in this squad. Tamori, Zuma, Christensen, like there's so many endless players I can mention that can come on. Jorginho. I know we'll probably be getting rid of these players maybe in the window coming up. 2 big players set to leave for the signing of Declan Rice, I've heard. A bit of a swap going on there because we have been chasing Declan Rice. Yeah. But even if we sign Declan Rice in the January transfer window and we lose the likes of maybe Rudiger and maybe the likes of Jorginho, I wouldn't mind that. Yeah. To sign someone like Declan Rice, who's a young talent, who's been a childhood best friend since Mason Mount as a kid, and having them two in the same dressing room together, I can only be more happier about it, mate. Like I think it's 2 great players, and I feel like we're starting to see the development of Lampard's tactics, his formation he's been picking, the team he's starting lineup he's been picking has been just impressive each week, and I feel like again, Thiago Silva growing in confidence, grabbing himself a goal on the weekend, opening his Chelsea account, just looks so good. The way that goal was scored as well reminded me of Ajax against Stamford Bridge. Like last season where Ziyech whipped the ball in and they got a header. It was kind of this similar ball. Similar ball whipped in and then from the free kick and then a beautiful finish from Thiago Silva. So I feel like for that us, it's showing a lot of positives. Again, Werner also getting on the score sheet. Can't leave him out. And, he had a good chance in that game as well, hitting the crossbar. So like he's showing, he can get those goals and is scoring in midweek international 2 goals a week. So I feel like the confidence, the whole team, and yet Havertz missing because of COVID. It can only bring more and more things. I feel like Chelsea looking good, and there's not really much more to say apart from that we really dominated Sheffield. I feel like they struggled in the midfield. I feel like they couldn't keep up with us. I feel like having Ziyech able to break down that low block is really creating a lot of more like unpredictability for teams coming up against Chelsea. They're used to us kind of dribbling it into the box and hoping for like a Hazard or Pulisic or some creative player to make something happen. Whereas now we've got Ziyech kind of creating those deep balls into the box that, Werner likes, Tammy Abraham likes, because Tammy Abraham playing that number 9 role, can chest the ball down into Werner, into the likes of Ziyech, so it just looks really good. Yeah,
100%. You're happy with
happy with that?
With that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm honestly really happy with the team at the moment, and I think that's the best way to sum up that performance. It was a great performance, and I feel like
Newcastle
only more. And I'm super confident. I think we'll probably smash Newcastle a good 3 goals.
3 goals, yeah.
So yeah, do you want to move on to your game?
Not really.
Because I do. Because I would love to talk about Arsenal this week. I'm gonna gloat a little bit. As much as I didn't want Aston Villa to win, because as we've mentioned previously, a bit of a Birmingham fan at heart.
Yeah.
Grealish, mate. Barkley. Ollie Watkins, all looking tasty right now, and they're all doing damage against the old Gunners. So explain to me what happened down there, because Arteta now is kind of getting a bit of question marks.
Yeah, I don't think it's the right time for knee-jerk reactions. I think.
Yes, you're thinking everyone's kind of overreacting a little bit.
I think it's one poor result. Well, actually, no, it's a string of poor results. But
I was gonna say, because it hasn't not just one. It's
My,
multiple now.
I mean, we've only lost. Yeah, that's what's our fourth. I can't remember, third or fourth loss this season. Yeah, look, Arteta's young. He's still a new manager. He's got a lot to learn. We've got to remember that. Like he's come out and he said it was his, it was his responsibility. He's come out. He's set up the team negatively. We're playing at home against Villa. We're playing a 3-4-3, a very defensive formation. There's no creativity in the side. No, we haven't scored in open play since we played Sheffield United a couple of games ago. There's too many players that are not
performing.
Not performing. They're not getting in the squad for some reason. You got people like Willock, Reece Nelson, Pepe. Saliba's not even in the squad, but we're playing people like Lacazette and Willian who aren't performing, and the fans are sort of sitting there and questioning why are they making the squad, they should be on the bench, You've got Pepe. Reece Nelson has been playing brilliant in the Europa League. Willock scored every game he's played in the Europa League. He's that creative midfielder. This 3-4-3 formation, we're not, besides from last week, we haven't been conceding a lot of goals. But you're playing home, you're playing against Aston Villa.
Yeah, it just seems like there was no desire to take the game to them. You're at home. Why are you so defensive?
It's time to switch around from that negative tactics and that negative mindset and start telling the players to express themselves. But I was embarrassed after that game. I thought, they scored after 40 seconds, VAR disallowed it. I thought...
Yeah, you should have woke up from that.
Yeah, I thought the players should have been right, that was a scare. Switch on, But... You're playing, I don't understand it. Tierney's a left back. He's playing left centre half, sometimes playing left back, left centre half. They've got to ground him into a position. Saka, naturally a left winger. He's playing left wing back, left wing back.
Yeah, it's kind of being more defensive.
It's kind of the players are being played all over the place. I know Arteta said during this international break he's going to revise his tactics, and it works. His tactics have been working. He's beaten big sides that Emery and Wenger couldn't do for quite some time.
Yeah, the top six sides like City, Liverpool.
Yeah, he's won a trophy. But again, I think it's a plan A. I think once a team sort of realise how to beat us, they can. Grealish played a blinder of a game. I think Lacazette, I'm over him. I don't understand why Aubameyang's not playing down the middle.
Why is this? Can we talk about this central?
He scored a couple of goals for Gabon in the international break, playing down the middle. Not whipping the crosses in.
So can we talk about that? Why? So Arteta, I watched a post-match interview, and he still backs that Aubameyang is not that isn't the issue. That he believes that the Aubameyang on the central wing thing is not an issue.
I think
Arteta is failing to recognise this as an issue, and I don't know if that's lack of ignorance or just the media. I don't know what that is.
I genuinely think he's trying to fit Lacazette just to fit. Now we're talking about
because he's a big money signing.
Yeah, because now we're talking about playing him as a cam. It's like, well, if he can't do his job as a striker, he's a waste. We've got other players that are performing in Lacazette's position that can play. We've got players that are performing in the wing position that's been playing in midweek games in the Europa League.
Yeah,
in central attacking midfield. And when it comes to the Premier League games, it's like, oh no, you didn't make the side. The only player that Arteta did and it worked was El Neni. Played well in the Europa League, came into the side against United, and he did a really well good game. That game. Yeah. So I just don't understand. Pepe went over and had an international break and got interviewed, and he said, I'm starting to get sick and tired of not being able to play. It's something along the lines of that, and it's not making me smile as much or something like that. I'm questioning, why.
I can see you on your face. You're visually annoyed by this.
We're playing players in the wrong positions where we're too negative. We've got and the whole game changed when Partey came off at halftime. So
it did. You guys looked shit after he came off.
The midfield
he was stopping everything, and then it just died.
He kept the midfield all in line, and he was making sure that we all kept our formation.
Why did he come off?
He got injured, but he should be available. Leeds game, but he didn't go.
So it wasn't a tactical decision.
No, it was injury.
Forced decision. Okay.
I think he had a slight thigh problem, but yeah, there was all these jokes online saying when Aubameyang scored for Gabon, they're saying, hang on, why is he not marking the line? Because he's meant to be playing out wide. And it's like, he's got to be playing down the middle. I don't know why.
I think that definitely needs to be changed. Like, obviously, I don't know more than Arteta about that, so leave that to him. But I think playing Aubameyang down the wing is just is a wasted opportunity. I know he used to play there at Dortmund a little bit, but he's a striker naturally.
And now there's heavy rumours that we want to sign Grealish, and Grealish wants to come to us, Arsenal fan as a kid, but he's just signed a 5-year deal, literally this summer. And we want to go. And already English players are overpriced.
Yeah, I don't think Grealish will sign. I know.
On top of a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
That he's just signed. That's even brought the price up even more.
Yeah.
We're talking about. There's rumours knocking about that we want to spend 80, 90 million on him, and it's like, it doesn't make sense. I'd love Grealish at the club. Don't get me wrong.
Creative. He's probably the best player in the Premier League at the moment,
I know that
form-wise.
Grealish has come out and said he wants to join up, but I think if we should have signed him before he signed a contract. We got people like Aouar that could go for 40 million, half the price.
I'd get Aouar.
It's just
the business isn't making sense.
The club's questioning me, man. Yeah.
This is where I'm going to cut you off a little bit and get onto what you just said there. This is why I'm confused. Arsenal at the moment are showing so much lack of class and respect from how I remember that club. Even though I've kind of always seen Arsenal as a bit of a club that's a bit makes confusing decisions, a bit of a banter club. I mean, no offense, but a bit of a banter club FC at times with the decisions they make. Everyone's been asking for Kroenke out for some time now, and I think that's been more prevalent now than ever has been. Sorry, because you got the likes of Ozil, a world-class player, getting paid to not do his job, which makes no sense to me. If you're going to have someone that's getting paid that much, why not at least involve them in the squad? At least have them in the squad, in the subs, at least. I'm going to keep talking about it, but I just think that's your issue right now. I don't understand this Ozil situation. I think the club needs to come out and address it properly. I think that this bullshit they keep saying about him just not performing is a load of bullshit and rubbish, because you wouldn't... I don't care what club you are. You're not paying someone, God knows, $500K a week it is, to sit at home and play FIFA and go on you know what I mean? Do it the fuck he wants to do. I know he trains hard and he has been training for your club, but most of the time, bro, he's probably just relaxing.
I don't want people to get it twisted. I'm not Arteta out. I think that we've had one bad result.
I think he's worried about the club sacking him. That's why he doesn't go against it. I think it's more of a fear thing.
I think I have the right, and I think all football fans have the right to ask questions when things
need to know what's going on.
Go against their side, i.e. like poor performances, poor setups, poor tactics. But, he's got the international... It was a perfect time to lose against Villa in that manner, because he's had a week now to sort of sit back, properly analyse the game, and we just need to readdress everything. Again, we're not conceding, but that's come to the expense of not scoring goals. We're not creating. I just don't know what's going on. I think we're gonna January we'll sign a attacking midfielder, and I can't blame Kroenke for what we've had, like the start of the season, or the financial backing, because he has backed Arteta.
It's not really that, though. It's more even the Gunnosaurus thing that came out. Yeah. It's just appalling.
Yeah, but we're going back to the Wenger days when he used to come out and say the excuses like we can't buy anyone because we're paying off the stadium. We thought it was
at least you can't use that excuse anymore.
Yeah, and he is now 45 million for Partey, 25 million for Gabriel. Spend over 300 million the past 3 windows. So we can't say that we're not signing players.
Yeah, you can't use that excuse anymore.
So obviously there is something that's rotting at the core at the club somewhere.
Somewhere in that line of directors and board, there's a problem.
But signing players and backing the manager, Kroenke hasn't got a problem. But he had the, I don't know. It stems from the Özil situation, playing players that don't deserve to. Well, for me, that aren't performing. Where we've signed Willian, David Luiz, Cedric, who all have the same.
And how is Willian? I'm sorry, but I don't really get how Willian's form has justified him starting over the likes of Pepe and other players. But I really just don't understand it, to be honest. Willian has obviously started the season good with 3 assists in the first game, but since then has he really done much for you guys?
No, hasn't done much. He puts in. He's got a good work rate.
But mate, he's not.
Anything. But yeah, Cedric, Willian, David Luiz all have the same agent. We've signed them. I don't know. I think there's something going on at the club.
There's something a bit fishy about you guys signing like ex-players that are on the back ends of their careers giving them a little payout for a year where, let's be real, right? Players such as Luis and Willian are not loyal to your club.
Yeah.
They left Chelsea to go to Arsenal. They're not loyal to a certain club. Yes, they may play for your club for a long time, but they don't love the club as much as they may say or seem to be. So for me, it's kind of like you're signing a player on the back end of their career, like Willian, for really not much more than you can really get out of him.
Yeah.
I thought when you signed Williams, it was going to be a bit of a depth player to have on the bench. I didn't think he was going to be starting week in, week out for you guys. I think he's a great player. I've even said to you behind the scenes, I do think on his day Williams is a good player, but it's just certain players right now that are in that team that I don't get how they're in that starting 11.
Yeah.
And I think that may be the issue at Arsenal right now is team selection.
And again, I'm going to go back to Ryan Carter's comment that he made a few weeks ago that Arteta doesn't seem to play any of Emery's signings, it does make sense. Saliba, obviously, he's gone through
Well, let's talk about that for a minute.
He's still not in the squad, which questions me. I don't know, if he's
because I do feel bad for Saliba right now.
If he's going to stay in England, he should be playing, which we spoke about, Ryan. Pepe, he's not getting any game time. Guendouzi, he's been doing bits. Torreira's been doing bits on loan. It's kind of as if
it's a bit confusing.
Yeah, I read something online that it seems like Arteta wants to play the people that he's close with and that are his sort of, his sort of guys, not actual based on performance wise,
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I just feel like right now it's a bit question marky, a bit worrying. I feel like you guys can pull it back out. I feel like you got more of a chance than United of saving your season.
We've got to bounce back against Leeds. I'm backing the manager that he's going to get a result back on Leeds, but we need to up the creativity. We need to up the... Look, I'd rather concede a goal a game if it meant that we were more
aggressive and you're getting 3-4
you know what I mean?
goals.
I'd rather not have a clean sheet and have 2 shots on target and one of them's a goal. We win one. You know what I mean? So
100%.
I know that I got to give credit to Arteta for fixing our defensive frailties, but it's come to the expense of our attacking play.
Yeah. Really, I don't really have anything to add. I think you covered it all perfectly.
Yeah.
I feel like right now, it's a worrying time. Not a worrying time. Sorry, it's a bit of a questioning period for maybe Arteta. Maybe, like you said, to review his tactics, review his team choices, and maybe we'll see Ozil hopefully feature maybe this season. Probably not, but hopefully
if he
maybe
gets registered again.
If he can get registered, or I just don't know. I think
Ozil
done?
I think
you think he's done?
I think
it's such a sad thing to see,
I
man.
think
the way he's been treated, honestly, I think it's a bit embarrassing.
It's background politics.
Reminds me a bit of how we treated Diego Costa towards the end when Conte just wasn't getting along with him, and we kind of got rid of him on a bit of a bad way. But luckily, we kind of mended that. But I think we should move on from that game. Honestly, it's kind of saddened me a little bit, but. But I shouldn't be that sad. I'm kind of happy, to be honest, that you did lose that game because it put the pressure on. You guys were catching us quite heavy at that point. So
are you guys above us?
Yeah, we're 5th.
You're 5th?
5th on 15 points.
That's mental. Yeah.
So we're closing on
we're 3 points behind you. Yeah.
So we've won, I believe 4, drawn 3, and lost 1.
Yeah, 1-4, drawn 3, lost 1.
Yeah. So we're doing all right this season. I'm not too worried about it since we've obviously brought Mendy into squad. We've done well, but. We'll move on to the rest of the Premier League games. Me and Marc didn't really watch many of the other games, so we'll go through the results quickly just for you guys to know. So we had the Leicester Wolves game, which was 1-0 to Jamie Vardy, a pen in the 15th minute. Roy Patricio producing a good save against the second one that nearly made it 2-0 to Leicester. I think it was this one of those games for me where both keepers did really well. I feel Kapstris Michaels had some great saves, some top class saves that I saw. And then... Roy Patricio, again, on the other side for Wolves, doing really well. Portuguese keeper showing his class and keeping, really, Wolves in the game for so long. But 1-0, and Leicester pushed themselves to second, or first, I believe, actually, on the table.
Yeah.
First on the table, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Leicester pushing themselves to first. This what I'm saying reminds me a lot of the 2015-16 season where any team can really win this league. And then again, Brighton, Burnley, 0-0 game. Did not watch that one. Again, stats didn't really tell you much about the game. I didn't watch it. I'm not going to really talk about it. And then we had the West Ham Fulham. Again, another game I didn't watch. I saw the highlights. Thomas Soucek claiming the winner in stoppage time.
Yeah.
So 90 plus first minute. So that was all the Premier League games. We will now move on into... I believe it is the international break.
Yeah.
We are in that at the moment, but we wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Not too much. But
I'm not too involved in the international break.
When I want to talk about all the games, I just really wanted to kind of give my opinions on it. at the moment. That's why I kind of want to talk
Yeah.
about it. So for me, international break in this current climate of the world is the most stupidest thing ever. And I'm going to give you prime examples. COVID, right now, Salah, again, gone. That's another player gone for Liverpool due to COVID. He's going to miss the next fixture against, I think it's Leicester for Liverpool. And again, that's such a big miss for them right now.
Yeah.
I think stupid. I think England were in contact with Belgium, obviously, that they came back and said that England squad may have COVID. They need to get tested. And they are probably been cleared now. But again, there was a COVID risk there. I think like traveling right now is just such a stupid idea. Why are we even having international friendlies with the injuries, the amount of fixtures that these top 6 clubs are playing in at the moment, and then to add on to them going away and getting injured and coming back? Joe Gomez, again, another Liverpool player getting injured England. I think it's just really dumb right now.
Yeah.
What is your opinions on this stupid fixture list this season? I don't care about international football that much.
Yeah, me neither.
Like the UEFA Nations League, it would have been nice for England to win it. Obviously, we got knocked out, but in reality, I'm glad we got knocked out. I'm glad that we're not in this tournament, man.
Yeah, I would have been more hurt if it was the Euros or the World Cup.
It saves me from worrying about players like Mount and Abraham getting injured.
Exactly. So, the international breaks are a little bit pointless. The only real big thing that happened during the international break was Scotland qualifying for the Euros first.
And congratulations, 22 years. And that was a manager that worked under Jose Mourinho and worked, I think, was it under Chelsea? I believe it may have been under Chelsea with Jose Mourinho being an assistant manager. So
big shout out to Scotland. And
have to shout out Scotland for that.
What Premier League players? Tierney, Robertson, McTominay,
Gilmore.
Gilmore. So, shout out to them. And we'll see them soon because they're in our group thing. Euros group, so
But to be honest, I really have my statement at international football right now. I think it's stupid. I think it should not be played. I feel like it's just risking the whole Premier League. Like the fact that one player could catch it and give it to everyone in the Prem, and any team in the Prem just kind of alarms me. But do you kind of want to touch about the England game because you did watch the England-Belgium game last night?
Half. The 2 players that both Southgate came out and said, and I thought was quite good was Grealish and Saka.
Yeah, and from what I saw on the highlights, Grealish really took it to Belgium. Looked quite comfortable, to be honest.
And when you hear the rumours that we wanted to sign him, I was watching him and I was like, he would be good. And he is a good player. He's consistent. He was the only one. Him and Saka on that left side because they were both playing kind of next to each other. They were really creating a lot of issues for Belgium.
How did England play? Did we play quite negatively, or did we actually play quite good?
I didn't watch the first half. I turned it on at the second half and we were 2-0 down. I started watching it and... to
be fair, the free kick that Mertens scored was fucking banging.
But we took it to them. But again, I think...
But was it a foul, though? I don't know if that was a foul on De Bruyne, to be honest.
Exactly.
But
we took it to them. I think that... we left it too late until we started getting into the rhythm.
Yeah, we kind of built into the game. I saw that a little bit in the highlights. Kind of like we kind of took momentum towards the end.
Yeah, Southgate came out and said, the game kind of changed the intensity when Saka came on for that left wing back role. I think he came on. I can't remember who he came on for.
I just don't get his starting lineups in my honesty. I just don't understand why he loves such a defensive formation. I feel like with the players we have attackingly, like Grealish, Mount, Abraham, I can't think off the top of my head right now. There's so many Sancho, Sterling, obviously some of these players are injured, Kane. It's just a bit alarming that we're not playing a more attacking formation. Yeah. We're playing like a 5, I believe it's a 5 at the back formation. Yeah. And it's just we have 7 right backs announced in the fucking 23-man squad. Yeah. And it's just a bit of a joke at the moment. It's like, I mean, how many right backs do you fucking want? Yeah. Like, fuck me, Southgate. But, he's the manager, so I have to back. Like, he's the manager, so we've got to back him. It's what we have. Yeah. We're not getting in. No one's been rumored to take over apart from fucking Sean Dice, and apparently you said Wenger, which that surprised me. Yeah. But we wouldn't even mind Wenger, to be honest. He plays good football attackingly. Maybe defensively would lack goals, but will concede goals. But I feel like right now we have to back who we have in charge, and that's Southgate, as much as he's uninspiring to me as well.
It's good as well.
He got us to a semi-final in the easiest cup run we ever had.
It's good as well when you manage at international levels, because it's not as if like you have to go out and start. You have to play with what you got.
It's different, it's a bit different. You got to work with that time limit that you have with that team and build a certain base.
So I think if Wenger did take over, whether it's all rumours sort of thing, but if he did take over as the England manager, I think we got a good defence. Whereas at Arsenal, we didn't have a good defence. We leaked goals. You got to remember, he an invincible. He's kept the most consecutive clean sheets in Champions League in a run. I think he went for about 4 or 5 clean sheets in Champions League. No one ever done that. I think Wenger could still do that sort of football where we can keep clean sheets when you got players. Well, when he eventually returns, Trent, Kyle Walker, Maguire.
100%.
Sort of thing. And going forward, I think we could play some really great football.
I think we could definitely challenge some teams. I feel like we could, look quite exciting going up forward. And I feel like we just need someone to come in and unlock that. Like, we got the potential we have with the players we have. Like I've mentioned before, Sancho, Mount, Abraham. I feel like there's definitely potential for this squad to maybe, go on a cup run, and maybe that's just me being a fucking stupid, delusional English fan and England fan, sorry. And, maybe I'm just having too much hope going into the Euros next year, but I really hope we do something in this tournament. And it would be nice just to have that bit of like, oh, yeah, England actually made it far in a tournament. Because obviously the World Cup, we did really well.
Yeah, but we had
an easy cup run. Let's be real. We should have won. We should have not won, but gone at least to the final. We had a Croatia and we fucking choked it. But... but I reckon we move on from international break. It's already bored me.
100%, yeah.
It's bored me. We're moving on. Sorry, guys. We're going to move on to the fun bit, the predictions.
Yeah.
This is the bit we all like because, as we say, and we talk about it each week, we have a table where the loser has to wear the other person's shirt and post it on the Instagram. Now, Marc has added another thing to that. Marc mentioned this yesterday on our little walk. Now, Marc, what was that?
We'll eventually have cameras soon. Eventually, we won't tell you when, but
you're getting a little sneak peek. Maybe soon we'll be getting video coming soon.
But we're going to set cameras up, and we thought that maybe we could have that person wear the top for that whole episode.
On a special episode where you will see that person who loses wear the top for the whole episode, and also have to post it on the Instagram.
Yeah.
So make sure again, guys. Free plug here. Shout out at the 3 Points Podcast _ Make sure to give it a follow.
Yeah.
And keep up to date with us.
And
but
before we get into the predictions, I just want to say, we both want to say, is we don't know if there's going to be any dropouts, audio issues. We apologise.
Yeah, we do apologise.
But Audacity are just shit cunts.
At the moment, with the setup we have, we can only do so much. So the audio, as we keep growing, we keep getting a more bigger fan base, and we grow and we grow and we grow. And you guys kind of come with us on this ride, and we do appreciate it. The quality will improve.
Yeah, we'll make
the content will improve.
Yeah, we'll make an OnlyFans, and you can subscribe to us, and then we can buy better equipment.
Yeah, and on the OnlyFans, you get the best of the best content.
All right, okay, so...
Right, fuck off, Marc. Let's move on. Come on.
The prediction table. Right. Chelsea-Newcastle. Well, Newcastle home.
Oh. I said 3-0, like before, and I'm backing it. I'm thinking 3-0. I feel like Werner's going to bag a brace, and I feel like Ziyech will also grab a goal.
I'm going to say 2-0 to Chelsea.
Okay.
Villa-Brighton.
I'm going to say 2-0 to Villa. No, 2-0.
I'm going to say 3-1 to Villa.
Okay.
Tottenham City.
It's going to be a surprising one, this one. And it could fuck me up this week, and I could be getting a bit out of my head. But I feel like Tottenham will take this game to them, and I feel like it will be a 1-1 draw to Tottenham and City.
I think it will be 2-1 to City.
Yeah, so I've kind of gone risky with the draw, but I feel like this could be a game where, similar to the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 1-0.
United West Brom.
United West Brom, I'm going to say 1-0 to United.
I'm going to say 3-0.
Okay.
Fulham Everton.
I'm going to hopefully get this right and say a 2-0 to Everton. I think they'll bounce back, and I think Calvert-Lewin will get back on the score sheet this week.
Yeah, I'm going to say 4-1.
Good. Ooh, I like that result.
Yeah, Sheffield.
Sounds nice.
Sheffield United versus West Ham.
Ooh, this could have gone either way, but Sheffield have not been looking good this season, and West Ham have kind of picked up their form this season, so I'm going to say West Ham 3-0.
I'm going to say West Ham.
Okay.
Leeds Arsenal.
Oh, this is going to be a tough game. I feel like as much as Arsenal have been good quite defensively this season with like conceding goals, I feel like Leeds have been kind of, the opposite and been conceding quite a lot of goals. So I feel, but also scoring quite a lot. So I feel like it's going to be a 3-2 to Arsenal.
I'm going to say 2-1.
Okay.
Liverpool-Leicester.
Liverpool-Leicester. I'm going to say a surprise win from Leicester. I'm going to say 2-1.
Say 3-2 to Leicester.
Oh, we're vocal on the Leicester dub. I feel like they might pull it out of the bag this week,
I feel like it'll be quite
I feel like because we're missing Salah and those
Van Dijk,
reasons, and Van Dijk, Gomez, I feel like it's going to be, Vardy's going to abuse that.
Yeah.
It's a big chance for Leicester to actually staple themselves in the race for the title. 100%. So
Burnley-Palace.
Palace 1-0.
I'm going to say 1-1.
1-1? Okay.
Wolves, Southampton.
2-1 Southampton.
Say 1-0.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're the predictions.
Oh, this could go either way this week. I'm
mate.
worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried. But
Yeah.
that was another episode of the 3 Points podcast. Again, Mark, I want to thank you for joining me. Because it was a beautiful episode as always.
Pleasure,
it always
man.
is.
It's a pleasure.
And I can't wait till we do get video going,
yeah,
guys.
and
So
we'll try not to get arrested between episodes.
yeah,
7
between
and
the
8.
next episode, we'll try and get arrested. But we do want to thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you are following all the socials. Please make sure you subscribe
Did you want
and
to plug
like.
the email because you wanted to last
Yeah,
week?
I kind of want to plug the email at the end. If you stayed this far, if you've got any questions, you want a bit of a deeper conversation, please hit us up on that email. It's at the 3pointspodcast@gmail.com. That is 3, sorry, not the number, the word. So THREE. So at the 3pointspodcast gmail.com. Send us in your questions. And yeah, anything else to add, Mark?
Yeah, we can't remember.
Oh, Big John's question.
Big John, quickly, we're going to cover it for you. So his question basically, we won't read it out, but his question was why there are so many goals being
Oh,
conceded.
yes, I remember now. 144 goals.
My opinion, and then we'll go over to Luke's. My opinion is I think that there's a lack of concentration, there's a lack of energy due to no fans being there, hence why we're conceding so many goals. It even happened towards the tail end of last season and has carried on to this season. I think that the fans who are singing, who yell, who get on the players' backs, it keeps them motivated. You're playing in an empty stadium, 11v11. They kind of switch off at moments. They concede. Luke?
Yeah, I have to agree with Mark there. I looked into it a little bit, but honestly, for me, I just think it's the lack of fans. Maybe it could be a mobile thing. I think it's just, to be honest, it comes down to a freak season where so many things are in play. COVID, I think teams aren't scared to play anymore because obviously no fans. And yeah, to top of what Mark said, I feel like this season we've been averaging about 3 goals a game, if I'm correct, 3.6 maybe along those lines of the stats. So yeah, I feel like it's one of those ones where it's a freak season and it's just goals galore.
Yeah.
Not much to add to that.
Yeah, good for us because I mean, like, I love seeing.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Like, it's good. It's entertaining to watch. But to
Mind you,
answer
though,
your
I don't
question,
like
yeah, I
seeing
don't
goals
really
scored
know.
three against us.
Yeah, we don't like to see that, but I like to see that. Maybe you don't. But yeah, we do enjoy. We do appreciate you guys checking out the
Shout out
podcast.
Big John for the question.
And yeah, sorry about answering that question late. I dead set forgot about it.
Yeah, me
I'm gonna be
too.
completely honest and keep it 100. But thanks guys for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Thanks, guys. Ta.
Peace.